Hi, welcome back. So in this session now we're going to look at making praise much more effective. And we're going to do that by looking at my friend Johnny. Okay, picture the scene. Johnny is your average 14-year-old schoolboy who doesn't really get a lot from school. He finds it very difficult being there. He sometimes doesn't turn up for class at all. When he does, he's never got equipment with him, rarely does any work, and it's a constant battle with Johnny. Sometimes you go down the hardline route, you give him consequence after consequence after consequence and he doesn't buy in. You sometimes go down the more supportive route and you're cajoling him and you give him as much support as you possibly can and he still doesn't really buy in. You might get a little bit more from him. But generally, getting Johnny to do anything other than sit in the chair is a big battle. But this morning it's very different. This morning he bounds into the classroom with his new pen and he says, "Miss, I want to turn over a new leaf. I'm going to start again." He goes straight to his chair, gets a piece of paper and he starts copying the work from the board. What sort of things are we going to say to Johnny to mark this miraculous change, this fantastic moment? What sort of things would we say to praise Johnny? Now the sort of comments I normally get are, "Well done, brilliant, excellent, hey, very good." They're the sorts of things we get, if anything. Sometimes we kind of ignore these kids when they make an attempt to turn it around, don't we? Because they've been such a pain for so long and done nothing for so long that we think, well, it's about time you did something. So these changes go unnoticed and unmarked. And that's a tremendous lost opportunity. Now the problem with these comments is they're kind of throwaway comments. These are the comments we use in the classroom when we're told to say at least 5 positive comments for every negative comment, or as many as 20 positive comments for every negative comment, in order to create a positive classroom environment, because that's what the latest initiative tells us, or the latest consultant tells us. You must be saying at least 10 positives for every 1 negative. Now there is research to back that up. There is research to back up the fact that students need more positive interaction than negative interaction. And whether you believe those statistics or not is irrelevant, really. You only need to put yourself in their shoes and see it from your own point of view. How would you feel if you were just receiving criticism after criticism after criticism, at best ignored, and very rarely given some positive quality praise and interaction? Morale goes down unless we're getting this positive feedback. So the first thing is, yes, we need to recognise when kids are turning it around. We need to recognise these small steps, these small achievements, every time they try to do it right. They're the things we need to jump on. But these kind of comments don't really wash. They're great to tick the box and say, well, I've used 50 positive comments today and only 5 negatives. Brilliant for that, but they don't really hit the spot with the kids. Remember, we're talking about hitting their emotional buttons, getting them in the heart where it really counts and changes really happen. Going around the classroom, well done, brilliant, excellent, fantastic, well done, brilliant. Those sorts of comments don't hit the spot. They don't get right to the heart. In fact, in many cases, they probably cause more problems than they solve. Because kids are like, well, you haven't even looked at my work. What are you on about? If we want to use praise, then let's use it properly. Let's use it how it really is meant to be used and how it really can work. Before we go on to the praise strategies, I want to look at some of the things that we can do wrong with praise, some of the reasons why it sometimes doesn't work. Because praise is quite a complex subject. It's not just a question of saying something positive. There's a lot more to it than that. Okay, problems we've got with praise. Are that it can cause frustration. For some students who aren't getting praise in the classroom, they get frustrated, they get fed up, the fact that somebody else is doing it right and succeeding, and so they just give up. Or at worst, they maybe even rip their work up. No, well, I'm not getting any attention. So unless praise is done with a degree of awareness, and you're considering all the students in the classroom, then it can cause frustration for some students. And it can be counterproductive. You've probably had the situation where you go to praise a student and you tell them they've done a great piece of work, and they say, no, I haven't, and they rip it up. Or they throw it away, or they stop working altogether. And that could be because they think they've achieved the required level. They've had some praise now, so they can just sit back. That's fine, I'm okay. Or it could be because their self-esteem is so low that when you're praising something they've done, they just can't handle that. So that's when it gets ripped up or pushed to one side. Some kids just can't accept praise in public. And we get the same sort of effects. They really don't want to be praised, so then we start seeing negative behaviour straight after we've said something positive to them. In some instances, they can't accept it from a certain member of staff. If there's no level of respect there, if they don't respect the member of staff who's giving the praise, it can have the complete opposite effect. Or it may be that there's peer pressure in that classroom, and you don't really want to be seen to be a goody two-shoes. You don't really want to be praised by this member of staff who's not very popular with your peers. So again, it can have a negative effect. And finally, it can actually decrease motivation in some circumstances. If you've got kids that are addicted to praise, they're addicted to getting positive comments from a member of staff, they're not actually interested in the task at all. They're just interested in getting the praise. So their motivation, their intrinsic motivation for a task well done, to actually get stuck into the work, goes down. And all they're interested in is, am I doing this right, miss? Is this right, miss? Can you check this, miss? So we're creating more problems for ourselves then.